Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, traders. Steve here at Logic FX Trading, and welcome to another one of my news and reviews videos. Guys, this one today is just going to be quick, but the reason I'm putting it out is, as you can see here on our calendar, this is Wednesday, oops, moved the wrong one there. This is Wednesday, the March the 6th, and we're having the Canadian Reserve Bank, or the Bank of Canada, interest rate decision today. And as you know, with the interest rate decisions, often they can stimulate a move, or it can be the catalyst for a sharp move on any particular currency. And I don't suspect we'll get any sharp moves today, but what we may get is a clue as to what the bank thinks is going to happen next. Now, unfortunately, the PMI actually comes out at the same time as the interest rate decision. So that's not going to help as much. And crude oil inventory also comes out, although that's a US inventory. But it kind of gives you an idea, that weekly crude oil inventory, of how, where the oil price is going to go. So all three of these are coming out at the same time. So the interest rate decision, they probably have these figures already, but we can't get much from it. Let's go and look at what other observers think. TD Securities analyst team is looking for the Bank of Canada to hold rates unchanged at 1.75. Now, we saw that from over there. So that was the last time. This is this time. No one's expecting that to change. As disappointing third or fourth quarter GDP complicates what had originally looked like a placeholder meeting. Now, a placeholder meeting is a fancy way of saying that they weren't going to change anything. Their attitude wouldn't have changed. Their outlook on what was going to happen to the Canadian economy wouldn't change. Okay, so that's what they were looking for. But the fact that the GDP was disappointing makes it that they've probably got to have to say something about that and what their view on it would be. Now, this may challenge Polotz's conviction on future rate hikes. And while we expect the bank to leave forward guidance unchanged for now, the poor GDP introduces a material risk that they will abandon the pretense of further tightening given the adherence of data-dependent monetary policy. I don't understand why he's saying a pretense, just maybe being a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretentious there with that word. Okay. At 8:30 we will get that's obviously Canadian time. I'm UK time, so it's a bit later on for us. UK time, guys, GMT, it will be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So wherever you are in the world, if you know where you are, plus minus GMT, you can work out the timing on that. Sorry, let's just go back. We will get an international trade for December, which was delayed by the US government shutdown. TD looks for the deficit to widen. Okay, sorry, that's just about international trade. And then obviously the IVPMI, we've already looked at that. Labour productivity for Q4. We'll round out the data calendar. Okay, so what we can take from this is that the Canadian economy doesn't look like it's going to grow. Therefore, rather than the bank looking forward to potentially increasing interest rates as the year progresses, they may well have to hold them or even cut them. We're not saying they're going to say they'll cut them, but certainly they may well hold them. So how does that affect the CAD? Okay. Oh, and there's just one other thing I want to show you before we move on. And I've posted a video that I found on that guy Polotz, and I've put it here. This is the home page of the website, guys. Down here we've got knowledge based, and it's just videos that I find on YouTube that I think are good for you guys to know. You'll get a lot of knowledge out of it. The interest rate decision. And it's actually a recording of the last meeting. I think it was the last meeting. This is Pollitt's here. The last meeting that he had. And he runs through at the start of that. Maybe you only have to listen for 4 or 5 minutes at the start of this, guys, about what they look for and what their attitude is towards the decision-making process. So he's talking about the different indicators, the different things that they look for before they make their decision. That's really, really good, guys, because then it helps us whenever we see things like the PMI during the month. It'll help us work out whether they're going to hike rates or not, or help you. I already do this, guys. Okay, so let's go over to the charts and have a look at what we could expect. This is our CAD indicator index chart, guys. And earlier in the week, or it might have been towards the end of last week, I put a little video out about looking for opportunities in the CAD. And we were looking for the CAD to drop because we'd had this ending diagonal. It had come up against the trend, the top trend line. And given this divergence, I said, listen, this is going to drop, guys, and it may well drop to the bottom. Obviously, it won't do it in one go. We could get a pullback before a drop. Okay, so that's the direction we're continuing to look for the CAD. So it's the CAD short. Now, when we look at pairs, remember that the other side of the equation will also pull and push things around. But generally speaking, if you're looking for a CAD trade, then you got to look for one, and it's just opened as we speak, and it's dropped even further, guys. There's the green line just come in. It isn't going to give us the pullback there. It may give us a pullback, but it's already gapped. You can see it's happened there as we speak. There we go. The CAD's continuing down. So let's go and look at some CAD currency pairs. Now, this one, because of this structure, and this is where Elliott wave and structure analysis, you need the fundamentals to add to it, guys. When you look at this just looks like an ending diagonal. You've got divergence. It looks like it's going to drop. Given what we've just talked about, I wouldn't bet on that dropping today, guys. The only way that's going to drop today would be if the US were to drop. So if the US is going to drop, and the CAD's going to drop as well, you'll not see this move very far, guys. Therefore, this isn't a trade to be looking at. So let's go and see if there's anything else that we could look at. Let's have a look at the euro. Now, the euro might be a bit different, and I'll tell you why. Because if the dollar is strengthening up, the euro will be weakening, because they kind of go in opposite directions, guys. So this might be a better place to look for a trade in the CAD. The only problem is you might be too late with this. This is a flat correction. This may be the start of the push up off it. If you've missed that, leave it alone, guys, okay? That's probably the big move. In other words, last week, when the GDP information came out, the CAD moved already, guys. So the chances are you're not going to get any big movement on the CAD today. But obviously we're looking further ahead, and you'll see the same thing will happen on the pound, guys. I was expecting a bit more of a pullback on the pound there. You can see where the arrow was. Basically, that was from a technical point of view. We were kind of saying we would like to see a bigger pullback before it pushes up. Having said that, with the news coming out today, it's quite possible that this would push up, guys. But looking at these, I wouldn't try to trade it here. And I'll tell you why, because really you're looking to get into these moves further back, guys. And here it's more a decision about whether you get out of it or stay in it. Where do you put your stop loss, rather than trying to get into a trade? Could this go long today? Certainly it could, guys. It's up to yourselves. I'll not be trying to trade it. This news story is more about taking this information, and each time you see an interest rate decision coming up, going through the process, guys. Whether this today or not gives us any trades, maybe another thing. CAD, oops, CAD Aussie, we'll look at CAD Aussie. Okay, now that one worked out. I put that trade out on Trading View the other day because, yet again, because we had an ending diagonal. Excuse me, and we were looking for weakness in the Oz, which is what pulled it down. But if we're going to see weakness in the, and I would take my profit on that now, guys, because if we're going to see weakness in the CAD today, and we don't know necessarily that we will, but I can't see us seeing any great strength in the CAD. This possibly could go, but it would be a better bet than trying to trade it against the dollar or something like that, guys. So possibly that. But the Oz isn't having a great time either, so maybe you'll want to leave that one as well alone as well. CAD, Swiss, CAD Yen. Okay, now a while back we had been coming up here. We were wondering if we were going to get some strength in the CAD, but look at what's happened, guys. This is probably a good bet for going short. But yet again, you need a setup, guys. You'd need a setup. So if you were to get a setup during the week or next week, oh, sorry, that's not what I was trying to draw. If you were to get a pullback of this to give you a setup, then potentially you could get into that. But I suspect this will just keep running without really giving us a setup. And New Zealand probably be very similar to the Oz. New Zealand's been a little bit stronger than the Oz recently, so the push down in the CAD didn't give us as much as it did in the Oz. This could potentially just go sideways. CAD Swiss. Swiss has been strong recently, guys. Yet again, I suspect this is going to drop out on weakness of the CAD. No setup at the moment, guys. Unfortunately, keep an eye on that for a setup to drop out the bottom. I know it's in the channel, and people like to, talk about channels going back, but they do end at some point, guys. Channels do always end at some point. Could we continue in this? Well, we could. The only thing is, at the moment, I'm looking for strength in the Swiss franc. So if we're going to get more weakness in the CAD, then I could see this dropping out. Sorry, I didn't mean to draw those two lines there. Okay, guys, I hope that helps you. It's all about getting a little bit more information, And just while I've got you, let me show you this up to the top here. This is my flipboard. For any of you who haven't seen it before, I've just flipped this onto made this my heading. Our old friend Warren Buffett, the most successful investor still alive today, or possibly in history. The best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. The more you learn, the more you'll earn. Okay, guys? Just a little reminder. Okay, hope it helped you. Bye for now. See you in the next video.